Hello folks, I'm American Bladesmith Society's journeyman bladesmith Shiba Inu. Today, I'm going to use a box cutter blade to create a textured Damascus knife. First, fold down the blade. This step was surprisingly time consuming. Next, pour whiteout into a 2x2 inch iron tin. The titanium dioxide in the whiteout will prevent fusion, avoiding the steel from sticking to the tin. The resin in the whiteout will carbonize when burned, helping to burn off the oxygen inside the tin. Then place the blade into the tin, followed by adding nickel-containing steel powder. The box cutter blade is made of SK5 carbon steel, which is similar to 1084 carbon steel. The steel powder consists of 1095 with 4% nickel, which forms the shiny parts in Damascus pattern. Next, the iron tin is welded and placed into the furnace for heating. The long tongues of flame indicate that there is more gas than oxygen in the furnace, to ensure oxygen-deficient combustion inside the furnace. I prefer not to guess or rely on intuition. To accurately control a welding temperature, I use a thermometer to measure the furnace. After reaching the temperature, proceed with the first forging. The initial forging should not be excessive, or else the unmerged steel materials may scatter. Subsequently, repeatedly forge the billets to ensure better fusion between the cutter blades and steel powder. Using a rhombic mold for forging allows pressure to be applied simultaneously in 4 directions, preventing the internal steel materials from scattering. Once fusion is complete, the steel billet can be elongated. The iron tin is made of SS400, which is similar to EG36 steel. SS stands for structural steel. 400 represents its tensile strength of 400 megapascal. It is the most commonly used structural steel in Taiwan. Trim edges off the billets, then use chisel to open the iron tin. Due to the presence of whiteout, the iron tin will not stick to the inner steel materials. If successful, the billet can be extracted as easily as peeling a banana skin. Reheat the extracted billet and elongate it again. This time we'll shape it into a knife. Start by forging the blade portion. Extend it gradually to prevent warping. Next, forge the handle portion. Also extend it gradually. The protruding parts of the steel form the guard. Forge the knife tip, gradually hammering out the angled shape of the blade tip. To showcase the effect of steel deformation, I trim away the sections where the hammer appears. The blade forging is complete. Next comes the forging of the handle. Utilize the curvature of anvil horn to shape the handle's curve. Finally, flatten it with hydraulic press, and the blade forging process is finished. Proceed with normalizing treatment by heating the blade until it loses its magnetic properties, and then allowing it to cool in the air. This process will refine the steel's grain structure and release stress during forging. Grind away any scales using a belt grinder. Use the belt grinder to shape the contours of the blade. The handle end is ground to create a groove, making it less likely for the paracord to come loose. Round off the edges of the handle to prevent the paracord being cut by burr. The notch at the blade tip is a significant symbol for box cutter. It is carefully filed. Drilling holes in the handle not only reduces weight, but also shifts the balance towards the tip. Using a height gauge, mark two parallel lines on the blade, with a 1 mm gap as a reference for grinding. Grind the blade starting from a larger angle and gradually reducing the grinding angle. After completing the grinding process, the next step is quenching. Heating the blade above the critical temperature and quench it in oil. During quenching, rapidly move the blade up and down to accelerate cooling. Temper the blade in an oven to adjust it to the appropriate hardness. After the heat treatment, remove the scale on the blade. Unlike previous steps, here only grind lightly. Next is hand sanding. Use sandpaper to eliminate the rough marks left by grinder, leaving only parallel hairline along the blade. Skipping this step would affect the appearance of the Damascus pattern due to the rough machining marks. Immerse the blade in ferric chloride to etch and reveal the pattern. The cutter blade with low alloy content tends to turn black when etched, while steel powder containing nickel appears silver due to its resistance to etching. Use an electric carbide engraver to simulate scratches on the cutter blade and engrave a signature. Apply gun blue to the handle to prevent rust, then wrap it with paracord. Sharpen the blade by grinding at soft areas of the belt. Will create a convex edge. With that, the knife is complete. Thank you for watching.